I may have had an over positive impression of what my roof was like. You can see there's a lot of staining and discoloration. This stuff used to be completely wet. Now it's like barely moist. It feels actually pretty dry, but it's got a little moisture in it, you know, just a little less than perfectly dry. So this is what I'm looking at in my attic. This is my ridge vent. It goes the full length of the whole house. It's open 2 inches there at the top, or 3 inches actually. And I have excellent ventilation from the soffits coming up. You can see a big gap, like a 4-inch gap between the insulation and where it ends. And then there's soffit air coming up all the way from the bottom. It is not the same like that on the back of the house, but it is like that on the front. So let me go check this plywood on the back of the house. This plywood on the back of the house, where the soffit venting is not good down there at the bottom, these soffit vents have actually been, we built living space out to cover up the soffit vents. So there's no place to even have ventilation come in. This plywood here is actually wet, starting kind of close to the top. It's not dripping, but it is definitely moist all the way down. Okay, I've made it farther into the house where there is no living space build out, where we have soffit venting on the back of the house. And this plywood here is dry all the way up to the ridge. That's where we have the soffit venting. But that back section, like probably that back 15 feet, is wet all the way up. Okay, this section of the roof is where we have that playroom built on the back. So the roof has actually got an overbuild all the way up here. There's another ridge going out. So this roof section is covered over. I'm gonna go down there and check and see if this part of the sheathing is wet or dry. I made it down to where the overbuild section is. That's this. And I just touched the plywood. It is very moist. There's no drips coming off the nails, but it is definitely moist plywood all through this section. Meanwhile, I should mention that on the front side of the house, where we have good soffit insulation, it continues to be completely dry on the plywood the whole way. My conclusion to what I've found in my attic is that while the top ridge insulation is excellent all the way through, it's only in the places where the soffit ventilation is present that the plywood is not wet.